Are street drugs kosher? What a heavy question. Well, let's first define what is kosher. What does kosher mean? What does the word kosher mean? Originally, the word kosher came from the Bible when it was referring to food. That some foods are kosher, some foods are not kosher. Kosher represents the word acceptable, approved, qualifies, it is good. So that's what the word kosher gets translated to. For instance, the kosher diet represented in the Bible talks about what animals are kosher. Animals that have two symbols, two signs, split hoofs and chews its cud. When an animal has those two symbols, it's kosher. The same thing with fish. Amphibious animals, the only ones that are kosher are the fish that have fins and scales. When a fish has fins and scales, then they are kosher. The same thing with birds. Certain birds are kosher, such as chicken, turkey, geese, etc., duck, but others are not kosher. So the definition of kosher represents if something is appropriate, something is right. Eating kosher represents that when you eat food that was prepared under kosher supervision, such as to make sure that whether the meat, the fish, or the fowl that we eat are from the kosher species. Not only that, they need to be slaughtered and killed in a kosher way. Not only that, they need to be salted and soaked right away after they were killed to draw out all the blood. Only then can that food be considered kosher. Now, all fruits and vegetables, anything naturally grown is naturally kosher. The issue is with the meat, chicken, and fish need to be kosher certified. And then comes the next level. According to the Torah, we are not allowed to mix milk and meat together. Milk and meat together is not kosher. And that comes another layer of supervision. In order to make sure that a food is kosher, we need to make sure that there's no combination at all of a fraction of milk and meat together. And products that are cooked, whether they're baked goods or any other type of goods, if there's a mixture of milk and meat, it's non-kosher. Which means cheeseburgers, even if the meat is kosher, is not kosher. So this is a broad term of kosher. The name and the word kosher actually has carried itself over in the 21st century. You'll find that in many discussions and many applications that many people, when they had questions if a certain transaction is right or wrong, they say, do you think this is kosher? A transaction, not food, transaction. When a person does something inappropriate, you would say, do you think that's kosher? So the word kosher has been adapted to use it throughout our vocabulary in many applications to see if things are kosher and to see if they're appropriate, if they are right. So back to our original question, are street drugs kosher? Well, let's break it down. What are street drugs? Street drugs are either plant-based or manufactured. Well, the ingredients may technically be of kosher origin because there are no animal mixtures, there's no milk and meat mixed together. So from a food-based criteria, they may be kosher. There are kosher certified marijuana gummies and cakes and cupcakes and cookies and whatnot that's certified kosher because the ingredients are kosher. But the question is street drugs kosher? Let's look in the Torah. The Torah teaches us a very powerful word, v'nishmartem, that a person is responsible to guard their body. That we, as human beings, are given a body on loan from God. We didn't create our body. God created it. Our parents came together and God allowed them to produce a beautiful child. But that child was created by God. It's not ours. It belongs to the Creator. And the Creator made it very clear to us that He is giving us this body. We are the custodian of the body. We are responsible to look after the body, to care for it, to protect it, and to maintain it and sustain it to the best of our ability. Which means that we do not have any right to abuse the body, to do anything that can hurt our bodies. We cannot ingest anything that can be damaging to this beautiful body that God gave us. We need to look at it as a holy place. Our body isn't just a physical body of bones and sinews, muscles and blood. This is a holy sanctuary. Yes, your body is not a body to play games with. This is not a body that we could abuse, but this is a body we have to respect because it's God's body. And you ask yourself a question: would God want me to take street drugs? Would it be kosher in God's eyes to take street drugs? Especially when we know that this can be damaging to our beautiful body and our mind. So the answer is, are street drugs kosher? They may be kosher in product, but they are not kosher to use. For a human being, we need to make sure that the food that we ate, that the environment that we are in is healthy. Not just healthy, but it's conducive, it's permitted and supported by the Torah. Our bodies are made up with 75% water. When you think about it, water is the source of life. The world is enveloped with water. In our 9 months in vitro, we are swimming in water. Our life is dependent on water. And we drink water, not just to quench our thirst, but to remind us, to realize where water comes from. Water has a very interesting characteristic versus all other food products, that no matter where you put water, it's always going to fall downwards. Water has gravity that pulls it downwards. And that in Kabbalah mysticism teaches us that it reminds us of God in heaven who pours us with blessings from above. God from heaven gave us the Torah that came from above. We cannot live without water. We cannot live without the Torah and without God. And we need to follow the rules. And we need to appreciate what God has given us. When God sees that we take care of our body, when God sees that we're doing our best to care for our body, that we're not abusing it in any way, shape, or form, especially with illicit street drugs, then God will bless you with good health. God will reward you for being a good custodian of His body. But if God looks down from heaven and sees that we are being careless with our body, that we're not giving it its respect, its honor, its dignity that it deserves, then perhaps God realizes that He made a bad choice by giving us our bodies. And that's why it is imperative for each one of us, no matter what our past has had, we need to take upon new habits, better habits, to be able to preserve our body. And there's so much available in our generation. There's an abundance of all variety of foods and liquids that we can enjoy that is healthy for us. Why do we have to follow the advice of the evil inclination and succumb to temptations and peer pressure and partake in ingesting street drugs that is painful and damaging to our beautiful God-given body? I hope this can inspire you and myself to make better choices. Whether it's the extreme of working our way off our street drugs habit, or just eating healthier and being more mindful of our beautiful body that God has given us, then you will see that your body not only becomes a haven for godliness, that your body is a gift from God that you are cherishing and respecting and looking after, that God will bless you with a healthy body, with a long life, a meaningful life, a productive life, a joyful life, that we should not need to come onto any other substance to find joy and happiness. Just look in the mirror and you would see an image of a beautiful person that there's no duplicate, that God created for a specific purpose and specific reason, that you are an ambassador of God. The day you were born, God said the world can no longer exist without you. You are unique, you are special, you are meaningful. Take care of your body, and God will take care of you. God bless you. God loves you.